All right. Okay. Hey, everyone. Welcome. This is Ryan Stack. We're doing a series on training on the Basic Five, and this is going to be focused on prospecting, recruiting, and sponsoring. This is my favorite part of building the business. This is looking for people who are wanting to become an entrepreneur, develop time freedom, residual income. People are aware of where change are going and they want to move with the change, or people that just simply want to collaborate and work together to uh, 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 do some basic result producing activities. But the magnifier and leverage is the fact that when all of us do it together, everyone financially wins. So to me, it's my favorite part. But I also understand, having been a new owner 12 years ago, that it's also one of the most challenging parts because you're new, you don't have credibility, you may not understand some of the skill sets, so it becomes very hard to start the process of this at the early stages. And just remember, everyone who's made it they've all gone through this process where they didn't have a check yet to tell people how much they've made. They didn't have interested people, and everyone's gone through their own challenges. But we all go through a system in order to find the right people. And I think that's what you have to keep in mind. If you do the daily activities to create the possibilities, then the rest of the activity almost ends up happening automatically. And that's really what I want to help you guys focus on, is the art of creating possibilities is really where recruiting and sponsoring takes place. Okay, so we're gonna follow, obviously, always fundamentals. Remember, this business, there's a lot of moving pieces to it, but it all has to fill in and be part of what we call the Basic Five. And I'm gonna always remind you of what these are, because I want you to think about: do I have all five working at the same time? J.R. Ridinger, who has over probably 30 to 40 years at building businesses that are about partnering with people and about everyone doing retail and prospecting, recruiting, and sponsoring and training and building a thriving organization. He's one of the best, honestly, in the world. And he created this business to fix all the shortfalls that he saw in the marketplace. And in doing so, he not only fixed the shortcomings, but he created a whole new industry. So you always have to remember, when building this business, you're a student of what's called the Basic Five. It's five fundamentals that you need to have working all at the same time. And then as you progress in business, you're going to be learning of new techniques, new ways that you can make these Basic Five happen faster. Okay, so just to remind you again, it's attitude and knowledge is one. Number two, goals and a goal statement. Number three is retailing. Number four is prospecting, recruiting, and sponsoring. And number five is follow up in the ABC pattern of building in depth. A big part of recruiting stems from belief. And we're not going to spend a lot of time in the belief category. We're going to do that in a future recording, but that's attitude and knowledge. And so what I would always encourage you to do is always listen to 20 to 30 minutes of something by this company on the Unfranchised Media app or the YouTube channel, or the Unfranchised Manifesto is a really great first place to learn if you're just building this business. Because if you understand the mechanics of it, if you understand what we really have our hands on, you wouldn't be able to not tell people about it. You wouldn't be able to go a day not thinking about it. And that's something you're really going to have to work on, because a big part of recruiting and finding great people is you're excited to tell people, which means you have to understand what you're excited about. You have to understand the fundamentals of the business. So make sure you work on that, because really it's attitude about what you're doing precedes success. A lot of people say, when I have my first two partners, when I do earn my first check, or when I become an executive coordinator, then I'll talk to this person, or then I'll go to convention, or then I'll hit the shopping annuity master member program. Or we always kind of take it from that, once I get the reward, then I'll do the work. And we all know that that doesn't happen. It always comes from the other way: is what do you think it takes to be a director? What do you think it takes to be a supervising coordinator? What do you think it takes to be a field vice president? What do you think it takes to make 18 to 25,000 a month, or 25 to 35,000 a month? And whatever you think it takes, that's who you have to become now. And that's what you have full control over, is what you decide to do now. And that's how I've always looked at this business. I can control how many people I talk to. I can control if I go to a training. I can control how much BV and IBV I personally can contribute to my business. And you have to always start with that idea that your attitude precedes success. It always comes before the money. And a big part in this statement is that people buy you before they understand what on earth we're doing, before they understand the brilliance in the compensation plan, before they understand how much BV we need and how do you share 100% and all the incredible things we're able to do that no other business on the planet does. What they're actually buying, what they're actually going to be intrigued by is what you say. It's by how you say it, and your belief behind what you're representing is going to ultimately be the thing that attracts people initially, which means that you really got to focus your attention on that element. Attitude comes before the money, and it's how you say it. It's the words you choose to use. It's the activity that you decide to devote to it every single day. And the four things we really do every single day, the four things that matter the absolute most is we're going to be using and promoting products and maximizing the shopping annuity. All the money we spend, how do we get the highest BV and IBV for that? Cashback is for the customers, okay? So you're looking to help people earn money and save money. At the same time, you're looking to give them a better product. You're looking to give them a better service than what they're currently buying, all right? Then we share the business. That's the art of expanding distribution. And then once we do that, we sell tickets. And tickets in our business is no different than college, universities recruiting for people that want to major or become a professional 4 years down the road or 8 years down the road. We have the same thing, but we have to fit it around a full-time, already working professional. You know what I mean? People have jobs and kids and family and other things going around, and we want them to maintain all that while at the same time, we're going to teach them how they can develop residual income that could match or surpass what they're currently making in a 2 to 3 year time frame. And that's done through education. There's no other way to do it other than to plug people into the events. And the way we do it as of now is we promote the events and make sure they have a ticket. Okay. When it says sell tickets, by the way, I do want to clarify that we don't make money selling tickets. We only get the person's commitment that they're going to attend. And that's really the importance of what we call selling tickets into the event. So I want you to think about as we go into this prospecting, recruiting, and sponsoring is I want you to think, why do we actually do this? If business is so great, why do we need people? And you have to go back to the roots of this business. It's kind of like every business. You know, if Starbucks is so great, why did they open up hundreds of stores last quarter? You know, and if they're so great, how come they need more customers to survive? It's the act of business and expanding business and reaching more and more and more people. But you have to understand this. If we didn't expand business, then that means you have to become a traditional business where you have to work 80, 90, 100 hours a week to sell to as many people as you physically have time to do. But then you are now really just a traditional business owner. That's already a problem that exists in business structures where one person's trying to do everything and trying to sell everything. And the second they stop, the money stops. And the other idea was that JR had is that we can sell to the masses, offer better products, and offer a cut of the savings because it's cheaper to do it to sell a product in our distribution channel in the binomial system, that we can save margins, which gives us enough money to then spread the profits through the customer, the unfranchised owner, shop.com, and the manufacturer better than any other system out there. So if we could all do a little bit, you could actually have a business that could yield you hundreds of thousands of dollars while you only have 10 to 15 customers, which means that you can create loyalty on a massive scale that has never been done in business because no one figured out the mechanics of what needs to be in place for you to do that. And the aha of it all is if you give, if you create a huge e-commerce company but give ownership away so everyone has a vested interest in the success because they are part owners of that system, then people become loyal and they take care of the customers because they're not employees. They're not building someone else's business, they're building their own. And that's really the magic of what we have. I still believe we're about 10 years ahead of where the world is, but the world is now waking up to the fact that things are different. And they're either going to be a spectator and watch it all happen and then be impacted probably in a negative way, or they're going to participate and they're going to actually find the opportunity in these changes that are happening. So we are looking to expand distribution because if all of us do a little bit, but we collaborate and do it together, every single person is better off than they are today. And it's really brilliant. So that's what we're looking to do. It duplicates your efforts and leverages your time. It does the two things that everyone looks for. Everyone wants to make more money, and everyone wants to be able to control their time. Those are two common traits that the human race shares. I want to do what I want when I want, and I need enough money to be able to do those things. And usually in business, you get one or the other. You get lots of income and you sacrifice all your time, or you sacrifice lots of your income to have more time. But here we have both. Okay, so that's what we're looking to do. So here's the objective. If you're brand new and you haven't maxed out a business center, I want you to just kind of reel in what is the initial goals and what is the long-term goals. The initial goal is you want to get profitable. And that means you get paid on the success of two lines of distribution. In our business, we call that activation. So that's one of the first goals you should write down. I want to get activated by, because then that allows you to begin to earn commissions on the management performance compensation plan, okay? And to give you a number, by the way, if you present this, the way we're building it, to 10 people who have interest in what we do, not 10 people you sold to, but 10 people who have interest, the odds are you're going to find two great partners as one of those 10 or through those 10. So activation should be one of your first goals. You should have a date written down and how quickly can I identify 10 people to present to in order to find my two partners, okay? Then long-term goals, we want to build two sales organizations, each generating an excess of 5,000 BV and 2,500 IBV weekly. And the reason why 5,000 BV, that maxes out your 001 on a weekly basis, meaning the max amount of commissions that can be paid. And 2,500 IBV is just on this initial organization I'm going to share. And if you doubled it, obviously that would be maxed out. But this is your first initial goal, and IBV is beginning to climb as we've seen it in the recent years. So I imagine one day that IBV will mirror or surpass BV, and then you would have doubled your money, okay? So this is an example. If you're going, well, how do I get there? What is the big picture? If you had 50 unfranchised owners on the left and right organizations, and they generated what's called base 10. Base 10 is that you find about 10 customers, okay, who order about 30 BV on average a month and 20 IBV per month. And that gives you one business, meaning your job, the effort you're putting in, and we'll cover it in future segments and audios for retailing. But you want to produce an 001 that generates 500 BV minimum per month, okay, and 220 IBV from the same customers every single month, okay? And personal use can achieve the 500, but then you add a customer base, which is another 300. So your 001 should average 5 to 800 BV. We'll just use 500 BV for this equation. And if you did this, you were able to accomplish it, then that means your 001 will produce $8,400 in BV commissions and $3,000 in IBV commissions, okay, or $1,500 to $3,000 depending on how much IBV is coming in. If you only went through the cycle halfway every single week, that would be $1,500 every other week. Or if it went through the cycle twice in 1 month, that'd be $3,000. So that would equate to $11,400 monthly. I personally believe this could be achieved for the average unfranchised owner in 12 to 18 months if they just built one and they did it part-time following what we're going to show you. I believe you could do it quicker, but that would be for the people who are really diligent about really aggressively building this, and without a doubt, within 24 to 36 months, okay? But the key of this whole thing is consistency. It's not about a lot of effort and being a rock star. It's about, can you get really good at the simple things that you do daily, and you don't skip weeks when you're building over that 24-month period, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. The number one mistake people make in prospecting, recruiting, and sponsoring, in my opinion, is that they don't have enough prospects. So out of desperation, they attempt to recruit before building possibilities. I'm going to read that one more time because there's a lot of people I know on our team that struggle with this very thing. And when I look at it, this is why. The number one reason people don't sponsor is because they don't have enough prospects. And therefore, out of desperation, they attempt to recruit before building possibilities. You have to learn how to build possibilities first. That's what prospecting means. In order to recruit, then sponsor. Simply put is this: if you only know 10 people, okay, and you push this business on those 10 people before there's a relationship that would warrant you sharing the message about what we have or what we could offer, and you're selling it, that means you have no interest in them. You have interest in you, in your goals. And when people feel that, they feel sold. And all of a sudden the wall comes up, objections come up. I'm not interested. I have no money. I don't know anyone. I don't care, right? Every pushback comes up, and now you have to fight that battle. And it becomes very hard. You look very desperate, and eventually those people end up not wanting to continue communication with you. And now you have no one. And all of a sudden you go, oh my God, how am I going to make this work? This is impossible. And you start doubting, and people sense the doubt. And then when you start talking to people within 30 seconds, you instantly go to recruiting again. And then again, the walls go up, the objections go up. If you realized that if you did it the opposite way and actually got to know people and actually created a relationship and actually spent time to figure out what they're wanting in life or what their struggles are, that you would actually build all the people in the network you would need in a fun way. And then people would be coming to you and would recruit you. So you know you're doing this right if people recruit you, meaning they're asking a lot of questions about what it is you do. They're really curious about what all this stuff is that you keep mentioning. They're messaging you periodically to follow up with you. That is when you know you're doing this well. And if you haven't experienced that, then I would say you might be pushing this a little bit too hard with too few people in your bean jar. Okay? So the number one lesson you have to learn in this webinar is that your daily routines are not about recruiting and sponsoring. Your daily routines are about creating more possibilities. And another word for that is relationships. That means that you have to get to know people. You're more interested in them versus you trying to sell the business. You want to actually figure out what they want, what they're going through, what their passions are, what their frustrations are. It's spending time to get to know someone, and over time, it may lead to business. Okay? So if you develop enough possibilities and make that your daily routine, it is mathematically impossible for this not to work. So I call it a possibilities funnel. You can call it whatever you want, but every single one of us has to have a way to create possibilities. Otherwise, you're dead in the water in the business that is expansion, right? If I was the head of Starbucks and I wanted to open up 10 more stores, but I refused to interview people and I refused to network, it was never going to happen. So I'd be dead in the water. I would need a recruiting model to find the right people. Same thing here, but we're doing it digitally, right? So what is a funnel? It's everywhere possibilities could come from, and your job is to reach out to get to know a few people and then add them to the funnel. It doesn't mean recruit them. It just means attempt at a conversation, attempt to talk to them, bring up a topic, have a one-to-one conversation on the sidelines at a sporting game or online. It doesn't matter. And they simply get added to this funnel that we're going to sift through. That means we're going to engage in conversations periodically until we discover, as we sift through conversations, who those right two partners are every quarter. Okay, so where are these people going to come from? Let's just talk about some basics. Social media friends list, right? We train on that big time. You have a Facebook friends list or an Instagram following or whatever. How about start with all of them and make an attempt to talk to 5 of those people a day? Not business. Just say, hey, man, I haven't talked to you in a long time. Wanted to reach out. What have you been doing lately? Are you still local? Hope to talk to you soon. See, that's building a relationship. That's building a possibility, because as of now, it was just a name that I long forgot about, but it becomes a possibility the second I engage. Okay, so social media, friends list, relatives, people you're related to, okay, cousins, aunts, uncles. How about having conversations? We're in, if you're listening to this now, we're in the break of the summertime festivities. This is when everyone's kids are back at home and schedules are crazy and vacations, but people are genuinely in a great mood. You're going to interact with a lot of them, and this is a perfect time to create more of those possibilities. Acquaintances, people you see periodically, once a month, once every other month, those types of people. Okay, 3-foot rule. This is old school. This is every time you might be in range of a conversation because you're close. let's say you're at a sporting event with your son or daughter, and there's parents on the sideline. That's a time to interact with other adults, right? That works because if I start a conversation and get to know someone, that's a possibility. Who knows where it could go, but I created the ability to create some type of future possibility. Daily postings on social media, traction marketing. That means that I'm going to post my story. I'm going to tell people who I am, what I'm doing, what's important to me. I'm going to keep off the drama, right? And I'm just going to post. But what ends up happening is people get to interact with that because we know today more time is spent being distracted on social media on phones than it is engaging in real-time conversations in life, believe it or not. And so if we have stories being told, then people can begin to form a relationship with you automatically. That means while you're watching a movie with your kids, someone's scrolling through Facebook, that person you talked to at the sporting event, and they went on your and saw something on your news feed and then clicked on your profile and looked at the last 12 posts. That is relationship building or attraction marketing where they almost feel like they're engaged in a conversation that you're not even part of. To me, that's what social media represents, which speeds up the whole process, which is why we focus so much on it. Okay. Social events, attend as many of those as you can. Retail parties and customers can lead to new customers or possibilities. Okay. Retail parties can open up a whole new avenue of people that may not have been receptive to business, but they're super receptive to health and nutrition or online shopping. That's a new area to create possibilities. How about just old school? Join new clubs, organizations, churches. Just get around a whole new network of people to kind of increase the amount of new possibilities in your life. Friends, I should say, friends of friends. That means working through friendships. This is a very small world, and it even happened today where I'm driving up somewhere and all of a sudden someone goes, "Oh my God, do you know so and so?" And they go, "Oh my God, you know so and so," and we're hours and hours apart, but here we are in a small world and we somehow all know each other. Okay, think of relationships through relationships because someone that you know knows 500 people you don't, and they might have the ability to get in contact with those possibilities if you play your cards right. Okay, now if you're into tech or you're that's cool too, or if not, how about learn? How hard is it to create a blog post? Blogs are free. Go on there and say, how do I create a free blog on Google? And it'll tell you everything how to do it. Go on YouTube. It'll show you a video how to do it. And the whole point is if you write an article, you could share it on social media. It can be found. It can be searched. And maybe you find that one person 6 months later that searched and landed on your blog and said, "Hey, I read a really interesting article you wrote and I had a lot of questions. Can I get a conversation with you?" Who knows? How about create a video on your phone and you upload it to YouTube? That's searchable, right? Do you think people online are looking for things, and do you think they call their friend or they go on Google? Right? That's what people are looking for. So it's a good idea to do that, and you can obviously post ads according to the rules and regulations, but that's another thing you can do. The whole point is this: more so than ever, there's more possibilities in our lifetime than there ever has been ever before in human history. And so because it's so abundant, you got to get really diligent about every day, how do I meet a couple more possibilities? How do I engage? And how do I attempt to meet two new people? And if you just thought and kept it that simple and just say, what do I got to do? What channel, what avenue am I going to do? And just go do it rather than being overwhelmed about it, this would all work. Every single person will be incredibly successful. I still have to wrap my brain around why people can't, but I get it. You don't know what you don't know, but if you ever knew what I knew, you would go crazy when someone says, "I can't find my two partners," okay? Because even if you're a stable or waiting unfranchised owner, that's okay. I'm not saying go crazy. I'm saying if you just went 20 minutes nuts a day, this would work even if you are not fully engaged. So it's never been like that in history, which is why I'm so adamant that we all get good at this because today, it takes the least amount of effort to make the most amount of money ever in Market America's 25-year history. So it's time not to just let this sit by because it's too special to do that. Okay? This is all a numbers game. The law of probability works in your favor when dealing with large numbers. You become desperate when you're only talking to the 5 to 10 people every day, or every day you're pitching 50 random people, aka cold calling. It's miserable. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of emotional toughness. But if you're just an average person like me who can't deal with the emotions of that, and you just say, "Hey, I'm going to talk to 5 people, 5 new people every day, 5 different people, I should say, and just get in the habit of building possibilities, you actually end up with 100 possibilities at the end of the month. And the odds are you identify 10 people who begin to show interest. That allows you to show the plan and recruit 2 per month. That is what you can get good at. It's simple. Everyone can do it. You could be 85 or 18, and this will work if you stay consistent, okay? So if you talk to and network with 5 people a day, that turns into 100 a month. If you added 2 to your names list, 2 to your names list means not on your Facebook friends list, people you didn't really know, but you bumped into a new mom here, you bumped into a coworker that you haven't really talked to ever at your work, and you met 2 new people. Okay, that would be 140 people that you put in your funnel, which means that you're on communication with, or they're starting to read stuff you're posting on social media, and we're shaking up the funnel. Okay, and out of the 140, I guarantee you're going to be able to identify 10 people who show an interest, 10 people who are excited, 10 people who have asked you, 10 people who have messaged you, 10 people who were curious and said, hey, by the way, I noticed this. What is the shopping annuity? It's going to happen. Or they're really receptive to everything and you can ask for a favor. Hey, I'm looking to expand. I thought of you because you've just been so positive. I'm looking for people like you. I know you probably don't have time, but I definitely know you can help me out. That is what developing the top 10, because it's impossible not to out of 140, okay? The goal is after you show it to 10, or a minimum of 1 person per week is your goal, that you'd be able to find 2 per quarter that you could launch. And I would say odds are if you show 10 a month, you're gonna launch 2 partners a month. It's almost impossible not to. Okay, so how quickly can you identify the 10 and then show so you can find the 2, which would get you activated and begin to develop your 2 sales and distribution organizations? Continue always feeding the funnel as a daily habit. That means that, hey man, oh, my day's tough. Dude, take 20 minutes and fill the funnel with 5 more possibilities. At the worst day ever in my Market America life, I will then go to bed and say, oh, you know what? I did nothing today whatsoever. I'll read my goals before I go to bed because that takes me 30 seconds, and I'll message 5. And then I'll go to bed. So on the worst case scenario, that's that little bit of effort I put in that I'm very consistent about, because I know it always accidentally develops some type of possibility that down the road leads to something great. Okay, so remember I said that. And this is off of the old basic 5 that JR said. He said, talk to 1 to 3 people a day back in 1992, pre-internet or social media, before the masses really were on the internet. And his whole thing was if you talk to 10 prospects a month, you could show the plan to 4 people. You could sponsor 1 a month. I upped it because we can contact so many more people today, and it just doesn't take as much to bring on the right partners, but it takes consistency. And his whole thing is this: stop worrying about who should do it. You're not a therapist. You're not a prophet. You know, you can't predict who's going to be right, when the timing is going to work, when they have the funds, when they have the ability to take on a new thing in life. It's if you talk to enough ongoing and enough people are seeing what you do, aka social media, that it's impossible out of that many for 2 people a month not to show their face, to say, hey, Karen, I'm interested. Hey, Ryan, wait a minute. I really want to know what you're doing. Or, hey, I couldn't help but notice. It's impossible, but you got to keep up the possibilities. When you do that, your partners just come out of the woodwork, and this becomes fun. And all of a sudden you go, oh my God, you wouldn't believe it. 8 people just said they're interested today. And you know why that happened to you? It's because 6 months ago you messaged 5 a day. That's why. Okay? Now, a big part of once you get the funnel is that you got to track what you do every single day. Most people, what they do is they'll talk to 5, or they'll talk to 3, or they'll talk to whatever, and then they'll long forget who they talked about and go about their day, and tomorrow they repeat the same thing. Here's the problem. You have no idea who you're talking to, who you should follow up with, who that you know, when you talk to someone, when's the next time you should connect. Maybe they didn't respond. So you got to keep track of this, just like you would building any organization. Look at it like a real challenge. Hey, I'm building this to a multiple 6-figure income. I'm wanting to find talent. I'm going to have to go and find these people. So I'm going to have to network. And so I'm going to start the networking process, but I got to make sure, A, I'm talking to enough people daily, which when you track it, you'll know. And then B, I can't forget who I'm talking to. because I want to take notes. I want to highlight if someone I think becomes interested. I want to make a note if someone I think is one of my top 10, okay? Or I want to make a note if someone is leaning towards a shopping annuity, and I want to remember next time I talk to them that seems to be an area they showed interest, or maybe it's a product. And you can do that when you actually track this. So for me, I just grab a 1 to 2 subject notebook, and the only thing on there is it's Monday. I got to contact 5. Who are they? I made a contact initially. Okay. And then I move on. All right. This is a big one for me. And when I started tracking it, I realized the customers and partners that started to come on board, it wasn't because of something magical I did. And, that month, it was because something I did 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago led to that opportunity. That was a big aha. So now I've become someone who tracks this. So if I were you, I would have that mindset of I just got to get a notebook, and every day I'm going to make notes of someone I reached out to develop a possibility, not sell anything. All right. And here it is one more time. If you want to take a little picture of it with your phone, I want to talk to 5 people a day on my current network list. The easy one is print out your Facebook friends list. Okay. If you don't have that, I would encourage you to get on Facebook. It's 2017. And, or what you can do is just take an Instagram account and say, who are all the followers? I'm going to reach out to 5 of them, direct message them. Okay. And again, you're not messaging about business possibility. Hey, how are you? Haven't talked to you a long time. Like, you're just re-engaging. Okay. You want to add 2 new contacts a day, meaning people not currently in your life that you're going to attempt to meet. Who are they? Oh, that person I keep seeing at Starbucks that always knows what I want every time I walk in. Maybe next time I'm going to try to ask for their name. I'm going to see how long they've been working here. I'm going to engage in conversation, that little conversation. Hey, what I've been coming in here, and I like a tall, flat white every single morning, and I hate it. My name. I just never asked yours. I'm so sorry. What's your name? My name's Tracy. Great, Trey. Oh my God, so great to. By the way, how long have you been working here? See, that little conversation could lead to something. I don't know, but that's a new name as part of my add to, and then I'll write down on my notebook, Tracy at Starbucks. And then who knows where it could go, but I did my job of adding, one of the 2. All right. 10 possibilities interested per month allows you to show the plan minimum of 1 time a month, but more like 2 to 3 times a week, which allows you to sponsor 1 to 2 per month. And the 2 to 3 year plan was based on you finding 8 great leaders, or 2 a quarter, that you personally would bring in and then build down your left and right organization. And the odds are, what they found is that if you launched 4 people on your left and right, that the odds are you're going to be able to get a business to start producing the max amount of volume at the end of that maturity. So you'll have the talent in there, and you'll have the backup just in case anyone has something in life that comes up where they can't devote a full-time effort into it. Maybe someone's sick at home. Maybe they get married. Maybe they're having children. Who knows? Something that takes them off of building, that you still have 3 to 4 of the people that are going to be building, and how that all works. Because everyone is either at a go now stage, or a manager stable stage, or they're just holding on to what they have. And those are the 3 places people exist, and we all alter depending on the time of year and timing in our lives. Okay. So that's your goal. All right, so let's start with some basic things. These are just fundamental things that you can do if you haven't. It starts with your warm market. Everyone just, I don't know why, they go, well, the people I know wouldn't be interested. This isn't about the people you know, and it's not about you selling and recruiting them. It's about you creating a possibility through them, which means that you have to first initially start with them. So if you haven't, again, print out your Facebook friends list. You could actually do an exercise and write out the people you know. I just think that would take you a lot of time, and it's easier to print a list out. And you're going to now start going, how do I just get back in conversation with as many of these people as possible? Okay. All right. So the other thing you want to do with your list is, obviously, like I printed my list out. There's a lot of people on there. There's thousands, and it's daunting. And I'm like, who do I start with? A good thing you can do is, once you get your list, or you write it out, or you print it out, is you want to put together a little bit of a priority list. I never try to question who would be right or wrong. What I would do for your priority list is, well, if I have thousands, who are the first 10 I should start with? Okay, so qualifying the list. Who do you know that may be in sales or has service experience? Teachers, trainers, and coaches always do great in our business. People that are entrepreneurial or have business experience. people that just have great attitudes, you know, and attract a lot of people because of that positivity. Money, people that have it, and people who had it and lost it, or people who are working towards it. Those are all great things. This isn't about, oh, you know, someone who could have $500,000 coming in a year could have no time in their lives, and that could be a reason they do it. Or someone had it and the economy changed, you know, and there's a recession right around the corner, and they lose that position, and they would fight really hard to get back their lifestyle, okay, or their security that they feel that they had. Or people who have never had it, but they're ambitious to go get it, right? People with prior networking or direct sales experience. See, I love, this is a little topic I just want to insert here. I love people that are in MLMs and network marketing companies, because traditionally they're all pyramid structures. Traditionally, they have multi-level percentages. Traditionally, they don't come even remotely close to how much we pay. There's no company that pays up to $187,000 on 2 lines of distribution. There's no company that shares the volume from the top and shares down 100% to the lowest possible person and all the way up the whole organization, and everyone earns 100% on that. Guys, we have the best, most profitable business plan ever created, ever. And we, you know, sometimes it's too good, and we've always had it, and we just assume that, hey, you know, I don't know, maybe we take it for granted, but you don't, I really hope you understand how special it is. So when you meet people who have been in direct sales, and maybe they're burnt, maybe they tried real hard and the company, you know, scammed them out of this, or they went bankrupt, or they didn't pay them what they thought, or they had a requirement that was so strange, but it was hidden in the, you know, the small ink and the print, and they're discouraged. Those people are really great, because I know this: everyone who starts an MLM eventually will quit, and they'll get frustrated because the compensation plan's not paying them. They'll get frustrated with the company, or the pay structure gets reduced, like many companies, or they have breakaways, or all these inefficiencies with the company, or they simply get burnt out because it requires 70 to 80 hours of working sales parties that they have to do to sustain any real type of income. And so be friendly with them. These people are, if they only knew how great it was here, in a heartbeat they would come our way. But you got to earn that trust, you got to earn that respect, you got to be there when they're ready to come this way, and at least take a look at how it could be better. Okay, so just make sure you do this and develop your top 10 list. And this should be, when you initially start, you should have this right away. This should be the list that you sit with a mentor and say, hey, let's help me book appointments with these 10 people. I'll tell you all about them, but help me do, you should be doing this with someone. Because if you're brand new and do this by yourself, I guarantee a few things that happen. You're nauseous about what they're going to say. You know, you're cold sweating, and you're wondering, oh my God, am I going to say the right thing? And what happens if you say the wrong thing to all 10 people? Then you kind of ruin that market, and then it's going to take a long time to get it back. Wouldn't it be better to just sit down with someone you trust, who will help you word what to say to them, and be there with you while you do it? That's what I would suggest everyone here do. If it, you know, I know a lot of people get uncomfortable. No, I'll just do it myself. But listen, we have your best interest on heart. We're not going to mess you up. If you are successful faster, you make more money. So do we. If you're not, it's harder for everyone. You know what I mean? So remember that everyone, if you make more money, it's in the best interest of everyone to help you do that. All right. So determine approaches to these top 10 and work with your mentor to do that. At the same time, every month you're looking to create a new top 10 through your daily possibilities that you're going to be creating. Okay. Adding names lists is just simple, and it's very important to do it because possibilities are everywhere. So I just want you to think, did I add 2 names? Did I talk to 2 new people? Did I just make a point to reach out and say hi or ask that person's name every single day? Online or in person is fine. Okay. So how do you meet new people? Every time you're out at work, every time you got to go out to eat, someone's handing you food, right, for your order, get to know them. Hey, what's your name? Hey, you know, I'm usually in there every day. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Every time you're at a family event, see if you can find the one person in the room you haven't met yet and just say, hey, just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Ryan. I saw you here the last couple times, and I'm embarrassed that I've never come over and introduced myself. Okay. Every time you're at social events, sporting events with your families, things like that, kids are at sports or dance recitals or all that stuff, get to meet a new parent. Meetup groups you can find online. There's a lot of actual personal groups that people put together, and they'll say, hey, you know, young entrepreneurs group meeting in Springfield, Mass, and there's 78 people part of the group. How about just go? It's a possibility to meet 5, 10, 15 people, right? And you get all your meet to a day done in 1 hour meeting. And that's a great way to start leveraging different groups. And I believe someone even said there's an app that is just all, just like, you would normally use apps for dating or today, there's apps that are used to find possibilities to network with people that have similar interests in business. So just be creative. I don't know, find some cool new ways. And obviously social media, we're going to train on this a lot, but how do you meet people? Add yourself to groups, stay at home dads, stay at home moms, travel, ski club, Australia travel group. Like, find topics you like, not about business, just topics, and join so that you have the ability to say, hey, I'm new in this book club group. I just want to introduce myself. I've been looking to join a group on Facebook and I just found you guys. Is this an active group? And get to know, because it'll say this group has 8,000 members. Now you have 8,000 new possibilities, and you're going to try to talk to 2 people a day from that book club Facebook group. Okay. It's not hard, but you got to make the effort to do it. Okay. Does this make sense to everyone? Okay. So here's a way you could do it on social media. To me, this is the easiest way. And yes, I use Facebook because every single person on planet Earth is on there. The biggest demographic is on there. And the most amount of people log in a 24-hour period on Facebook than any other digital platform on the market today. Okay, so that's why I'm so into it. And it is simply transparent, kind of a version of what happens physically is happening electronically. So your physical world is mirrored on Facebook. And so it's easy for everyone to understand. Whereas if I do things like LinkedIn, yes, it's great. And now I'm going to encourage all the LinkedIn people to still do it, but I'm selling. And a lot of times it's recruiting in a business environment of people who are looking for jobs. So now I'm basically talking to a lot of people looking for an employment, okay? And I have to not necessarily develop relationships. I'm like going for the jugular. I'm going for the sale right away, which again is, to me, is more of the old school. You're going to have to do 50 of those or maybe 1,000 of those to find one good person versus what we're going to do here on Facebook. Okay. Whatever method you use that works, continue to do it. But I would suggest you do this, make this part of your ritual. Okay. So here's the deal. You're going to expand possibilities. I would encourage you to message 5 people a day from your list, 5 new people. Okay. And you're just going to simply private message them and just connect. Hey, John, it's Ryan. Long time no see. Haven't talked to you in a while. Just want to say hi and catch up. How you been doing? Done. And that's one person. I write their name down on my notebook. I cross them off my Facebook list that I printed out, and I'm on to the next one. It took me, 5 seconds, right? I'm trying to warm up cold markets. Maybe I haven't talked to that person, John, in 20 years. I saw them in my sophomore year of high school. Who knows, right? And remember, if they communicate, great. If they don't, great. What ends up happening is when you message people, 9 out of 10 times they begin to stalk you, meaning they're going to scroll through your storyline. But the cool thing is they actually start to have invested interest in who you are, and they begin to know you without you having to be there, which I love. And if they start to respond, then you know what you do? Ask a lot of questions. Just try to keep the dialogue going. It'll go back and forth for 2, 3, 4 times. And maybe you'll just say, hey, great catching up. Maybe we should get together for some coffee next time you're in the area. I'll talk to you soon. And it dies out. But what doesn't die out is the fact that you got their attention, and now they can see what posts on your news feed. Okay. Facebook starts opening up that more and more and more. All right. So use this to take massive action to ensure that you have the most amount of possibilities. So if you ever fall short in the physical world of meeting people or talking to people at home, you can do this on your phone. You just have to write down the names of people you talk to. Okay. And remember, you got to post socially. You got to give them a story on social media. So you got to post 2 to 3 times a day. Keep it about your life, the things that are important to you, and inject a little bit of business without selling. That's kind of my rule. Okay. So if I just got paid, jet.com delivered an order, I've seen a lot of our team do this. You take a picture and say, the fact that I don't have to go into a grocery store anymore and I can get paid and it's cheaper all day long. I can't believe I didn't find out about the shopping and knew you sooner. That's it. It's intriguing. You can just say something that just injects a little business, okay, without selling. All right. At the end of the day, when you're talking to these people, you're looking to start conversations. That's it. And you're looking to keep the conversations going. So learn and listen. Get in the habit of asking 1,000 questions. Be interested in them. Do not be interesting. Okay. Be interested in them, not interesting. No one hates someone more than someone who's all full of themselves and how great they are and how they don't have a job or how they're building residual income or how they're awesome and they found the best thing on earth and why don't they get it? You know, people are more interested in someone going, so how's the job going? Oh, cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had something similar happen. You're just engaging. But when you ask questions, they give you everything you need to know. And building a business today is you've got to get the information and respond according to the information. And if they become interested, then that is the right way to do it. Okay. I tell a story of, the person who comes to your door, knocks on your door and says, hey, listen, I sell windows. And I instantly, as a homeowner, think this person doesn't know anything about me. They're going to get a commission if I sign here and book an appointment and they sell me windows. So instantly, I feel sold. Instantly, I don't want to talk to them. Instantly, I will say, I don't have money. I don't plan on living here that long. I'm not interested. I don't have time. I'm busy. Come back. Give me your card and I'll never call you again, type of thing. And the other person feels the same. They have to get so many doors to get a yes, right? But if I met that person at a party, and that person and I hit it off, and we're talking about family, and then I happen to go, hey, what do you do? And they go, oh, I sell windows. And I'll say, oh, how did you get into that? Well, I'll tell you the truth is, I was living in an old house, and my electric bill was, $800 a month, and it was just killing us. And I never lived in an old home, and found a company, a guy that I knew, and asked to bring me on, and we redid my home, and all of a sudden my bill went down to $175 a month. I couldn't believe it, and I just thought how many families I could really help if I could just, by glancing at a home, be able to tell which houses could really use my service, and I could really help homeowners. And all of a sudden I would say, oh my God, you should come to my house to see if maybe that could help us too, right? See, that opened the door for the possibility that would have led to business. That's how you got to operate today, okay? People talk about form. That's a way to just think about what you can talk about. People always talk about family, occupation, recreation, which then always leads to money. So you can engage in that. And in 2 minutes, people tell you enough information where you can move the conversation and have a volley. Okay, that's really what you're trying to do. So think of the themes you can talk about. This is just conversation, man. This is easy stuff. So if I'm talking to someone that is complaining about something, I'm looking to fill what part of my business could help fix that problem. If I'm talking to someone at a cookout and they're going, oh my God, I just don't know. I've been at Macy's forever and everything's shutting down. What am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about store closings to the internet distribution. I'm talking about the shift in retailing. I'm going to say, I know exactly what you're talking about. Malls are closing, stores are closing, and it's the full reason why I actually decided to move with the trends, because it's one of the biggest opportunities, and that's why I invested in owning a shop.com business. I totally agree with you. See how I just inserted what they were complaining about, and I just inserted my feedback, and I put a little bait on there. I put a little like, hey, if that person goes, well, what do you mean a shopping annuity? And now I can talk about that as a theme. So here's some themes you can interject. Pay to shop, the move from stores to internet retailing, the 2 to 3 end versus 45-year plan. How many people would rather build financial success for themselves or work for a company to build them financial success and they're left with nothing? Okay, or a product focus. Maybe you have a great testimonial on a product or result from a product. Focus on that. If someone's complaining about aches and pains, maybe you have a story that you can relate to then use that to talk about. Okay, franchise versus unfranchised. Shopping annuity, guys, is the number one thing for me. This relates to every human being on the planet. Everyone wants to buy what they buy more conveniently and for less money. And if they can earn on it, huge win. But the bigger win is, how about getting paid on everyone who does that too, without any dilution, without anyone losing out? So that's a great conversation to me that applies to every single person you can talk to. University majors, the training system we have, the ability to expand anywhere, own your own digital distribution company part-time, and time freedom. To me, time is the currency. If you can share with someone how they could get time back in their lives without sacrificing money, but actually increase it, they're always going to be interested, and focus on their interest and find the theme that works. So the more you listen to what we do, the more you can identify just the volley. Hey man, how are things going? Everyone's gonna say, yeah, things are pretty good, pretty good. You're still at the job. Yeah, I'm still at the job, and things are doing this, and we're actually expecting another baby. Oh my God, baby number 3. God bless you. I have 2 of them. The conversations go back and forth, and they're like, and then eventually they start opening up, and they'll say, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. We could barely get by with 2. 3 is just going to be a huge burden financially, and I'm never home now, and I'm probably going to have to get a second job, and I'm just stressed. Isn't it easy to say, you know what? I know we're at a barbecue, so I'm not going to, try to explain it here, but I really think you should see what shop.com is, because if you're really worried about that, this might be something that will allow you to not have to get that job and actually take care of the income thing, and give you some time back, and relieve some of the stress. I don't know if it's for you. I don't know if you're willing to do what it takes, but I know that it could 100% help you guys. And what I can do is let you know when the next overview is, and invite you to that. How does that sound? And see, that's it. Because I took the time to find out the need before I shared the want. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, this is little stuff, guys, but this is going from amateur. I'm going to talk to people and get them in my business, and I don't care to make the money. That doesn't work here. Go do MLM. Go do some recruiting. Go do something else. This is, I want to actually find the people who could really benefit, who deserve to be part of a team that I want to invest my time with, so that we can all financially make it. That takes time. And that's the big win if you get to learn how to do it. The funny thing is, it takes less time to do this as long as you do it consistently. A little more work up front, but then it all starts coming down the pipeline later on. And then make sure you move for the appointment. When you get the conversation and volley and interest, you got to then close it. You can then say, hey, you'd be great at what I do, or if I could show you a way to fix that, or if I could show you a way to pay for your college education for your kids, okay? Whatever it is, just ask if I could show you. And then at the end, the line I always tell people to use is, you seem to have some interest in learning more about what we have, and let me invite you to the next overview that we have. Okay, you always seem interested in learning more about what we have. How about you come attend our next overview? And you have to have the next one. Like, are you free Tuesdays when we normally do them? No, I'm booked. Well, what's the day you're open? Well, Thursday mornings I'm at. Hey, why don't we set something up, just in our books, and I'll call to confirm you, and, something like that. Just do it light. Okay. Now this is going to come back and forth. People are going to ask what you do. These are some common things you got to figure out. What do you do? So people are going to say the same thing to you when you're talking to them and asking questions. They're going to say, hey, Ryan, wow, really appreciate your interest in everything I'm doing, but what have you been up to? And I could say things like, well, I'm a teacher, but what I'm really excited about is this business I just started on a part-time basis. Or I'm really excited to launch a shop.com business. I always say, just let them know that you're still doing your profession, but you're excited or focused on is your new shop.com or shopping annuity business. Okay. And so that's simple of what you do. And when you're engaging in people, they might ask some questions, and you should just we always talk about have your reason why. That's one of the 5 pillars we want you to have before you build your business. But this is what it is. When someone goes, well, why would you, how did you get into that? You tell them, hey, well, a friend of a friend, and I kind of asked them. I just saw they're doing really well. They're home all the time, and I realized I really wanted that because I'm at my job all day long. I never see my kids, and by the time I get home, I got maybe 45 minutes, and I'm out coaching, and I don't get home till 10. And as much as I love it, I got no time. I got no control, and I don't own the job I work for. And I realized it's time for a change, and that's why I started this. I found that this was the most flexible platform, and the whole world's moving this way anyways, and it just totally made sense. Maybe that's your 2-minute commercial. It's just your reason why you decided to launch a business. Okay, it comes in handy when you're having conversations, which is why I put it in here. Okay, what stops people from bringing up the business sometimes is you're afraid of what they're going to say, or they're going to ask what it is. I will tell you, most people never do. But when they do, just make sure you have an answer that's simple. Market America's answer is, well, shop.com, it's a product brokerage and internet marketing company. Have you ever heard of it? You could say something like that. This is my answer. Shop.com is an evolved version of franchising. And I say I invested in it, and we do 3 things. We get paid to shop, teach others how to get paid to shop, and we expand our business with online stores rather than storefronts. Okay, I like to, my answer is I want to let people know that this is something most similar to franchising. That's why I say that. I tell them that I invested in it. That means I purchased the platform. I didn't invent it. And I'm trying to hit the nerve of paid to shop, teach other people how to get paid to shop, and expanding distribution. So it's I hit them with a lot of bait. You know what I mean? And if they just go, "Oh, that sounds nice. See you later," then I kind of in my head just go like, whatever. I'm over them. You know what I mean? Like they have no interest, and okay, I got it. But that should generate some type of curiosity for me to continue the conversation. Okay, so the answer should be short but intriguing, and the goal is, can we keep the conversation going back and forth? Do they have some interest? And like I said, if I say this and they have no response, they don't even ask another question and they just jump to a new topic, I know I have someone that has no desire to do anything. And so that's cool, no problem. But most people will. Okay, I'm going to go back, by the way, take a picture of this because it's something you should practice. Because a big fear is when you talk to people and all of a sudden it comes up. And I've seen people doing this business 10, 20 years, and I hear what they say and they don't even know what to say because they're awkward about it. You can tell they don't practice it, but this should be easy. It's an evolved version of franchising. I invested in it about 12 years ago because they do three things: teach people how to get paid to shop, we get paid to shop, and we need to expand just like franchises, but rather than storefronts, we use online stores. So it'll come out differently every time, but if you practice it enough, it'll be natural when you say it. Okay? And once you have your interest, you got to stop asking questions or answering questions. You got to move into the appointment. So the second they go, well, how does that work? Or that's not possible. How could you pay 100% of 100%? Oh my God, you wouldn't believe it until you saw it. And you know what? Would you be open, even if it's just to help me out? Would you be open to attend the next overview we did? So you got to always make sure you deliver on the close, which is asking for the appointment. Okay. And then if they go, well, how about this? Or well, just explain this. Just be like, if I try to explain any more, I'm going to confuse you, or you're going to think it's something that it's not, or I'm just not even going to help you. You're going to be even more confused. You really got to see it. I was just like you. I had a million questions when my buddy started talking about this, and I'm thankful I didn't, try to figure it all out without just sitting down and seeing it. I really think it could help you. And if it doesn't help you, then you might be able to help me. What do you say? Okay, just make sure. Okay, so here's two approaches you can use, and I hope you guys are following along with this. And I'm keeping it simple because, quite honestly, it is this simple to do what we do as prospect recruiting and sponsoring. It's not a hard thing. So you have to know that there's two approaches really that I want you to learn. One is direct. Direct is you're going to go and ask them to participate in your business. And this is from people that you know very well that you could have that type of dialogue with, or you just know they're already interested. Okay. Jim Winkler used to ask this question at local seminars, and he would say, what approach do you guys use? And he goes, don't tell me yet, but if someone did a direct approach on you or the next one that I'm going to show you, he goes, just write it down on a note card. And then he sifted through these index cards, and he would show you that 80 to 90% of the room was approached using this approach. Okay, and I do want to caution you on this. I would say that this was the top 10 list that we were. And when someone approached us or approached you, they might have gone direct because they knew they had a relationship with you. And even if you said no, you'd still probably see it so that they would still win at the end of the day. Okay, so this is when you go in direct. Hey, Karen, you'd be great at my business because you're already successful. This is another revenue stream for you guys and another way to maximize your network. If you get paid for everything you currently buy, pay less for it, and get paid on everything I buy, would you be interested in seeing how? That's another thing you can do. Have you ever starting your own business? Because you'd be perfect. You're just the entrepreneur type. I want you to see what it is I'm doing. You might be a great addition to the team, and this might be perfect for something you're looking to start. Okay? Something like that. Most of us, though, when you get through your top 10, you're going to have to fall on this approach. To me, this is my favorite approach because it's the chicken approach, but it leads to the biggest results. So you're going to message them first, let them know you're looking for help, and you're going to tell them why you're expanding your shop.com business. Then you're going to let them know, they're not interested. Hey, Matt, I know you don't have time to be involved personally, but I know you actually know or could help me lead to the right people. Okay? I'm just looking for you to take a look at what it is I do through a webinar or in person. We're doing an overview this date. Could I count on you to just attend that? I'll explain exactly what we're doing and most importantly, the people we're looking for. If you think you can help me out, I'll make sure it's mutually profitable. I appreciate it, buddy. I owe you one. are you good for that date? Okay. So here's an example of how it could go. And I always say message first. So if you're going to call them, text them and ask, hey, John, when you get a second, wanted to shoot you a call real quick. Just need about 30 seconds of your time. Or if you're on direct messenger or text, hey, John, wanted to shoot you a text real quick. Let me know when you got 30 seconds. Just wanted to ask you for a quick favor. Okay. And when they go, yeah, what's up? I'm here. Then I'll say, hey, not sure if you know, John, but I recently launched a shop.com business and we're in the process of looking to expand in your area. John, I know you're incredibly busy, so I don't want to even interfere with that. Okay. And I know you don't have time to be involved, but I could definitely use your help. Okay. Hey, man, how can I help you out? I'm looking for the right connections. You may know the right people. And if you'd be able to attend an online overview on this Tuesday at 8 o'clock. And that way I could explain what we do, the financials behind our company, how we help people get paid to shop, and the type of individuals I'm looking for, that would be a big help. Okay. So you can say anything, looking to work with, and I could then say something that is flattering to that person. You're social, just like you, John, everyone, you're interactive, you're successful at what you do. I'm looking to work with people like that. And I'd fill in that blank. Okay. After the overview, if you like what we're doing and you could help to refer me to anyone you think would be a good fit, I'll make sure it's mutually profitable. I owe you one. Appreciate the help. See, I'm killing the objections before they come up, and I'm going directly for the help approach. Okay. Now, does this make sense to everyone on here? I really want you to make sure that it's 5 a day, 5 a day, 5 days a week, 100, add 2 a day, 5 day, 5 day, 5 day, 5 day, add 2 a day. And if you could do that and get good at this, is about conversation. You're not even selling the business. You're not pitching the business. You're not convincing people. You're not pestering people. You're not pressuring people. Your job is to talk to 5 separate individuals, new ones, every day to create a dialogue. And then as that dialogue happens, you naturally start seeing where it moves. And if you actually can just remain social, you can identify the people this makes sense to introduce a concept with, talk in themes, or someone who approaches you about something you said or a product that you recommended. And now you have conversation, and then the rest sit there and they stalk you on Facebook, or they'll periodically check something out, and you still have their attention. And that always leads to the partners you have been looking for so long, but it's that easy. And if you haven't experienced this, you're not talking to the 5 a day, or trust me, you're not. If I looked at a notebook, there's no way you can do that. Or what you're doing is you're selling before you've developed that whole relationship prospecting approach. Okay, does that make sense? All right. Once you identified, and guys, we're wrapping this up. Once you identified the people, you got to move them into the appointments. And this is part of the skill set. So one is the skill set of talking to a lot of people and caring enough about people and using a high enough volume of contacts so that you can pick interested, ready to go people. And that's the only way to do it, to control the timing. Okay. The next step is, once you identify them, now you got to book them into something. And these are our tools: getting together one-on-one, or bringing a partner and doing it as a team. It's my favorite, by the way. Home business presentations, get everyone together at a home and show this. Online meetings where you're going to use a webinar service like Join.me or Skype or freeconferencecall.com. You got to understand how you're going to show the presentation. We got videos on YouTube. You can use that. The flip chart, which is just the paper version, I really like that too. I'm a big fan of that. It's just handy because you can always keep one in your car or whatever, wherever you go. You don't necessarily need your laptop on you. But however you do it, it's fine. And then you just got to invite people. You always have to have an up and coming meeting. That's why I always harp on what's going on this week. Do you have a target? Because no target means you're just wandering around. Okay, it's easy to start booking people and making this work as long as you have a target every week. And don't depend solely on the upline of your sponsor to always do it. Once in a while, you might just say, hey, I'm gonna try to do my own if you've had some success. And if you haven't had success, then I would encourage you to stop doing the one-on-ones and make sure you do it with a mentor. Do it together. Okay, and you got to learn how to show the plan. The only way to get good at it, by the way, is to show it a lot. Okay, so here's some other ways to show the plan. And here's some good follow-ups. These are after, when someone goes, hey, I need to think about it a little more. You could send them a power profile off of YouTube or the Unfranchised Owner magazine. You get About MA download. That's in your downloads. That's a really great interactive PDF you can send. And then protect them when they go home. Okay. So before the plan, ask tons of questions. These are things you want to basically find the hot buttons, the things that they would find a benefit in before you show the plan. And that comes from conversations. And then during the plan, they're buying you and they're buying the team and they're buying the individuals before they understand the concepts. Okay. Explain how the system works, explain how you're going to help them. They're going to be skeptical. That's okay. Okay. Let them know people will be and say, hey, in this day and age, people or skepticism is at the highest level because information's readily available. Anyone who's 10 years old can post something online. It can be taken for fact. Okay. And I want you to just stick to the facts. Like this works. This is reputable. This is profitable. 25-year history, not a down quarter. And I want to really help you build this. So don't, when they leave, just say, don't talk to a lot of people. I'm going to do this with you the right way. If you talk to a lot of people, you're going to mess it up. It's going to be harder to help you make this work. We can still do it, but I just want you to make money faster. So just hang on, because I also don't want you to be in an unfair situation where people start questioning you and you don't have the information to give them. Okay. Just make sure you follow up. Okay. The successful thing you want to do after a plan is book the follow up. That's the close. You're looking for what do I do at the end? Is talk to them again tomorrow. Hey, are you available at 5? Or if they can't give you a set time, the next morning you just say, hey, wanted to shoot some things to your email and also want to find a time. If you got 5 minutes, just touch base. You're just trying to find the urgency to we got to talk now, whether it's for them, for people they know, networking, customers, whatever. You just need to get back together with them. If you go through the effort of everything I just said and forget this step, you might as well have not done the effort in the first place. Why message 5 a day, add 2? Why talk to countless amounts of people? Why then get interest? Why then book the appointment? Why then show them the plan and get interest and get whatever and then not book a follow-up? That is like you made it to the finish line. You're ahead of everyone else on the marathon by 18 miles. You made it there faster than anyone else. And then you just sit on the right before the finish line and then everyone catches up and passes you. You lose, right? This is it. You did the work and they're ready to go, but you got to have the urgency, okay? Make sure you just answer questions. It's about who they know. Who do you know? Who did you think of? I bet you thought of a couple people. Why don't we run this by a couple people you know and see what they think? I'll help you invite them to the next one. Don't have them go do this because they won't do it or they'll get blown out of the water. You understand a new interested a person the second they go, I'm really interested in doing this, Ryan. Okay, why don't we launch you? I'll launch tomorrow, and then we'll do this. All of a sudden, I go home. The person's going to be launching tomorrow, and then they message 10 people behind my back. And all 10 people go, those things don't work. That's a scam. Shop.com doesn't work. I saw some blog. Someone, lost millions of dollars doing nothing. All like total lies, but they're infants. You know what I mean? They can't stand on their own 2 feet. They can't say, well, that's not true and defend it. They can't say anything. So you got to protect them and you got to do it with them. Okay. You can sell them a product or get them a product in hand, give them a sample, get them a ticket to education. That's one of the best uses of your time. Okay. And if they're interested in getting started, book everything, but just make sure you take care of them. We're going to do this together. Don't try to do this by yourself. Don't mention it to people. We're going to do all of it together until you're successful, until you see how we do it. And then, go for it. Okay. That type of deal. Okay. Between appointments, again, protect them, 3-way calls, get on the phone, network with them, send them information, saturate them with some training if you can, because there's nothing better than building attitude and knowledge, especially at the learning stages of the business. Okay. Real quick on objections. Everyone asks me to cover this and I never do because I believe if you do everything we just said, no one would give you an objection because you did it the right way. You didn't push a product or a company on them. They gave you the information that made it intriguing for you to bring it up, and they respected that, right? If I'm complaining all day long that I hate my job and someone says, hey, I might have a way for you to get out of that job in the next 12 to 18 months. I'm not sure if you're up for the task, but I don't think it's that hard to do it. It's been a great ride for me. And if you want, I'll let you know what our next overview is and it explains what it is. I don't look at that as selling. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm not interested. I want to stay miserable, right? I told them I was miserable and they gave me an option to get out of my misery. And I didn't have an option other than what they presented. So I'm probably going to say, sure, However, if they came up to me and said, hey, I found an amazing business opportunity for you, and they didn't learn that I was miserable, I'm going to say, no, thank you. I don't have the time. And now I got to deal with objections, okay? But in some cases, you will get some objections. Just realize it doesn't mean no. And many times they're looking for more information, or you jump the gun, or they're just naturally skeptical, and that's okay. Don't get defensive. Just help through the process or back away. Maybe if you feel you're being too much pressure, relate to them. Dude, I know, I totally understand what you say. I looked at every MLM under the planet. I didn't do any of them, or I did some of them, and then I did the work. It's just the plan wasn't profitable. I learned why, and that's why I end up finding this. Be able to relate. Okay, many times objections are created because they feel pressure about your approach, and for most, always go for the appointment. Felt the same way until I saw how this worked. I'm telling you, there's nothing like what I thought it was. There's nothing doing what this company's doing, and you don't even need to make a decision because the information that we share is informational only, and there's no, you don't have to make any commitments after you saw it. Okay, it's not about them. It's about who they know, and also the shopping annuity is a perfect example to lay back on because it's what all of us do. Okay, a couple last things. The words that you say play a major role in what you do. So don't say things like I joined Market America. Say I started my own company. Or I'm a member of Market America. I own my own business. I do Market America. I signed up, right? Instead, say I work for myself. There's a UBP meeting tonight. Instead, say there's a business presentation tonight. Okay. I hit my first 1,200 and 1,200. I got my first check. Just say I earned my first $300. Okay, my sponsor's name is Dan. No, no, no. My business partner's name is Dan. Sponsor in the real world usually means something not so good for most people. It usually means you got into trouble somewhere and you're on the good path now, right? Um, uh, I want you to meet the people in my upline. Instead, say I want you to meet my business partners. I've already have been I already have people below me, right? Or my business is already growing. Just be careful the terminology you use in the real world and always relate it to franchising, business, e-commerce, online digital distribution, shopping annuity, and stop using old words that will then pique someone's skepticism. All of a sudden they go, oh my God, that sounds like you're in one of those things. Because you said I signed up, I joined, I have a downline, my upline, my sponsor, my cross, like, you know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden the objections explode. Okay. The person I'm working with at a national supervising coordinator. No, the person I'm working with earns or has exceeded over $10,000 a month. When do you want to sign up and get in? Stop saying those things. When do you want to register your business? Okay. And I hate people using the shop.com web portal. How about you just say website? People don't know what a web portal is, but they know what a website is. We're always going to be in the forever battle of the left side brain versus the right side. And in the world of how you earn money, this is it. The majority of people think for the last 99% of people all agree and have been sold and bought and agree with normalcy being I work, I get paid. I stop working, no money. I work 1 hour, I get paid 1 hour, period. That's normal to them. Money grows literally. Work stops, income stops. They don't create true wealth. Time is not your own. They're making a living. They are comfortable working for another person and building their company and getting no asset in return other than a paycheck to pay them for their 1 hour of time traded for 1 hour worth of income. Okay. On the right side is the way we make money. AKA, by the way, it's how the wealthy make money. It's not just us. It's wealthy people say, if I work an hour, can I get paid on 10,000? I don't want to try to be great at everything. I want to find lots of people who are better at things that I'm not good at and all have a mutually profitable relationship. Okay. Leverage your time. Money grows exponentially. That means that every time you do something today, it could pay you in the next 10 years and 20 years and 50 years and down generations. Income continues when you stop. You create true wealth because you're building an asset, a company that you own, not working for someone else's company. You actually have true time freedom because if you leave this week and come back, your business is going to perform without you if you've built it right. And now you can create a true lifestyle. That just means that however, wherever, how big you want to go, how small, how nimble, it's totally up to you and you have full control over it. And we also have the choice today. This is the business. Continue making other people rich, including the company you work for and the money you spend at the retailers that you spend it at, or move that money and your effort towards something that will pay you and actually build a business for yourself. Okay. I'm just going to kind of wrap it up here with you guys, is that when you move someone through that whole process and get them launched in business, that this is the thing that is really important to then plug them into, is the GMTSS. If you have partners in your team that don't have tickets, you're not doing them a favor, you're not saving them money, you're hurting their future income. The only way that this works, that you have true residual income, is that your partners are successful, and they can't be without tickets and attending events. So you need to press this and get them in the system until they understand the importance, because their income has gone up so high that they don't need to be told anymore. And they'll make sure they send that message down to the next generation, okay? So the next big event for us, if you're watching this now, is in 8 weeks only, and it's International Convention in Greensboro. The most beneficial use of your time is doing what we just showed you and trying to get another person to International Convention with you. That will do more work and accomplish more than any other activity that you would do right now. And this is the event, 25-year celebration, and the best yet to come. In many ways, a true beginning of what we have now, that's actually in place, and where it's going to be going over the next 25 years will blow you away. So I'm really hoping you're there and you can take all this great information with you and duplicate it. All right, that's all I got. What I'm going to do is stop the recording for those on YouTube. For other teams that kind of join in and see what we do as a team, feel free to leave your comments or email me. But I'm going to stop the recording here, and I'm going to open it up to our team for questions. But remember this: conversations, possibilities, 5 a day, add 2 new. If you could just get into that rhythm and then develop the attitude and skill set, meaning get knowledgeable about what we have, this is a piece of cake. This is so easy if you take the pressure off and put the attention on building possibilities every day. Thank you so much, guys, for joining, and I really hope this helps someone out there on the team or someone out there in the company looking to take their business to a new level. But this should be one of the easiest things in your business. You just have to put the effort into 4 weeks of doing this the right way, and you'll learn how easy it is. So thank you guys so much. Good luck out there.